Hi, everyone. Cole here with our Selkirk United Church midweek message for Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. This will be the last midweek message for a few months as I am away for a week of holidays next week and then beginning a 3-month sabbatical for the months of July, August, and September. I will be back in the office on the 4th of October, and I plan to start up the midweek messages right away as soon as I'm back. Now, on to this week's message. Susan Lukey, the editor of the United Church's Gathering Resource, wrote what I thought was a very interesting editorial in the latest version of that publication. She titled it To Disciple. Here's what she shared. The Gospel of Matthew ends with words that have shaped much of Christianity for the past 2,000 years. Matthew 28, verse 19 says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." This statement, attributed to Jesus and written down by Matthew about 50 to 60 years after Jesus' death, has been the foundation of Christian evangelism and the source of the imperative that Christians must convert others. She continues, saying, "Now, I'm not a scholar of Koine or New Testament Greek, and so the following ponderings are not based on any in-depth analysis of the Greek words, but here is what I notice. Mathetiouset is translated into English as make disciples, disciples being a noun. But in Koine Greek, it is a verb meaning to disciple. So go disciple in all nations just might be the better translation. But we don't use disciple as a verb in modern English. For those of you who love grammar, to disciple is an aorist active imperative second person plural verb. Ooh. I can just imagine Jesus sitting in heaven, shaking his head and saying, no, 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 it's a verb, to disciple, to be a disciple, not to make disciples. Big sigh. What if Jesus was commanding his followers to go be disciples in every nation? And then, if people wanted to join in the Jesus way, to offer baptism. I also have this sneaking suspicion that the whole baptizing in the name of the Trinity was something that evolved in the 50 to 60 years of church development between Jesus' death and Matthew's writing. So what does it mean to disciple? Or as it could be translated, to be a disciple? Well, a disciple is one who listens to the teacher, who learns from the mentor, who pays attention to what is happening, and who discerns wisdom from that listening, learning, and paying attention. Imagine if that had been the approach to Christian discipleship and evangelism. In fact, one might imagine that this was just how the first disciples approached sharing the good news of Jesus. They were sent out by Jesus. They met with people along the way. They listened and learned about what was going on in people's lives. They paid attention to the situation. And then they shared their passion for the way of Jesus. Think of Paul and Timothy seeking out a place of prayer along the river in Philippi in the Sabbath, on the Sabbath in Acts chapter 16, verses 11 to 15. They sit with the group of women they find there. They listen, they pay attention, and then they share their good news. They don't insist that every one of the women gathered there must follow Jesus. But one woman, Lydia, is intrigued, so intrigued that she welcomes baptism and commits to following the way of Jesus. Unfortunately, the Roman Empire co-opted the Christian faith, and go make disciples became coercion rather than invitation. Entire villages and nations were forced under threat of sword and violence to be baptized. Or the fear of being sent to hell in the afterlife was wielded to compel people to accept baptism. Baptism became the tool of the colonizers, who took this one little verse in Matthew and made it their mission to make everyone Christian, even if it meant sexually, emotionally, and spiritually abusing those upon whom they forced Christianity, along with British European ways. Again, I can just imagine Jesus weeping, sobbing in heaven. No, it's a verb, not a noun. Go be my disciples. Don't force it on others, please. What if Jesus was inviting us, commanding us to live as disciples in every nation? What if Jesus wanted us to learn, to listen, to pay attention, and to discern how we might love our neighbors and share the love of God with compassion, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? Those are the gifts of the Spirit, by the way, from Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 to 23. What if Jesus wanted us just to be small pockets of salt and light, joyfully bringing compassion and hope in every place we go, rather than forcing everyone to be like us? What if? What if disciple is really a verb and not a noun? That was from Susan Lukey, editor of Gathering. And I'd like to leave you with a prayer that was written recently by Maren Tirabassi. It's about seeing and noticing the beauty of God's creation, but also about finding ways to share that beauty with others. Perhaps that's another way that we can turn disciple into a verb, as we seek out ways to bring hope and life and light to those around us. As I read this prayer, I'm going to put the picture that Maren shared along with her prayer on the screen, or at least I'm going to try to put the picture on the screen. Technology sometimes doesn't cooperate with me. Let me see. There it is. Good. And here is Maren's prayer. God, you and a gardener made the flower. You and the glass artist made the bowl. You and wisdom made the sun. I only put the bowl with the flower on a bare table near a morning window. Help me, Holy One, to remember I am not able to create light or bloom in someone's day to day, but I am able to place things of daily life so someone can see what sparkles, can recognize patterns, can even find in beauty reflected a reminder that they too, no matter what, are able to re-reflect it again into another's dim and hurting hours. Don't let me worry about where I'll find a flower and a bowl. I will trust you for that. And start looking for all the locations to make a kaleidoscope of joy. Amen. That was from Maren Tirabassi, a prayer that reminds us that we have many tools at our disposal, many resources, many blessings that God has given us, and we can find ways to reflect them into other people's lives and to share them. And that's the midweek message for today. I may see some of you this Sunday in church. If not, I hope you all have a blessed summer. And I will be back on October 4th, refreshed, ready to go. And we'll see you then. Take care, everyone, and God bless. Bye for now.